And good morning. Your weekend is over and it's officially time to get up and go to work. How do you feel about that? Welcome. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. As we begin this Monday, the last day of January. This is the 31st. Tomorrow will be February 1st as we head for Groundhog Day this week. So will he see a shadow or not? We'll stay on top of that as we watch all of this as the week develops. We do know this. There is a possible winter storm that will barely miss the state of Mississippi and go just north of us and go northeasterly across the United States. There's going to be a lot of snow, a lot of ice involved with that. The Meridian area, the state of Mississippi, what will it get? Well, basically, we're going to get rain as we look at radar this morning. This is going to skirt right through here and go up across and head this direction. As we look at this, this is already starting to be under a winter storm watch here. It hasn't quite gotten to Louisville, Kentucky yet, but it's brewing. We have showers out to our west there in San Antonio this morning. No rain for us today. You're sitting right now at the freezing degree mark. It's 32 outside as you start your day. But what is even weirder is it's going to be 68 today. Now, we're more than doubling our temperature. What does that tell us? Storms are brewing. Now, everything that I've read and kept track of as we look at this forecast is we're supposed to only get rain. We're a few days out with this. Wednesday and Thursday is going to be our rough time there of getting storms or rain. Let me reword that. Wednesday and all the way through Thursday. At this point, they're not projecting storms. I've checked my system twice, but things are still early. It can change and develop. But snowstorm going just north of us. We'll get into all the weather details and all of that here in just a little bit. I hope your morning is going well for you. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. I'm glad to have you a part of this. As you'll notice, I called it the Scotty Ray Report. And yeah, we've got a lot to report this morning as we begin this early Monday there. Time to get the sleep out of our eyes and get the day going. It does happen that way. Let's see. We say some good mornings to Margie Lancaster. How are you? Glad to see you joining us. Mike Dallas. Also, Linda Accord is there, Reggie McKee, along with Barbara Smith. Wishing everybody a blessed day. Nothing Better is there. Janice Bounds. Also, Donna Roseman. Lamar Hembry joining us from Kemper. Terry Ray, how are you? Carol Stamper joining us from Newton there. Tommy Ainsworth is up. Miss Bree Packer. Miss Joyce Stamper, how are you doing? Hadn't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing well there. Denise Wheat joining us from Meehan, along with Janie Bertel. How are you? Also, we say good morning to Terry Cootie. Butler, how are you today? Glad there. Sandy Cass, good morning from Pigeon Forge. I bet that is beautiful in Pigeon Forge this time of year. I've never had the opportunity to get up there this time of year. So coming up, I'm going to give you the latest that we've got across the state, headlines that are happening this morning, and tell you about a few local events that are stirring. Hang close, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more here at the Scotty Ray Report. Hang on. The Precast Group, offering you the best selection when it comes to a storm shelter. Located on 145 South in Meridian, where they offer above-ground shelters that can be installed in your home as you're built-in, are conveniently located right outside your home if it's already built. They also offer storm shelters that can be installed in a slight bank or on flat ground. Protect your family today with a very affordable storm shelter from the Precast Group. Highway 145 South, 601-482-0003. The Precast Group. A few things that went on over the weekend, if you're not familiar with this. I-20 mile marker 125, we did have a car that flipped over the weekend. I think everyone was okay, but still an accident. And remember, as I talked about the rain coming in this week, we will have a lot more fender benders and cars sliding off roads and accidents. So keep it in mind on Wednesday and Thursday. It'll start late Tuesday night with that rain. We'll get into your forecast again here in just a moment to let you know all about that. Now, let me pull this up and show you this as well, because this is, I always want you to be aware of your surroundings and what's happening. We bring this up, and I mentioned it on Saturday morning. This happened overnight on Friday night. Maybe you were busy, but this was the scene in Meridian on Friday night. Strong arm robbery in Meridian. Someone ordered a pizza. How innocent is that? They ordered their pizza, they went to pay for it, and out to come, I guess we'll just call them goons this morning with guns. They robbed the pizza delivery guy, who you know well, they don't carry much. Also, the person that was buying the pizza, you normally have just enough on your pocket when you meet them outside to pay for what you're getting. They took somewhere around $100, and they also, even as low down as it is, took the pizza, and off they ran. This is, if we will look where this was right behind, y'all know where Hooper's Electronics used to be? Happened right behind there at Mount View Village. They had ordered the pizza and they were attempting to deliver that, and it was stolen. Again, that was on Friday night that went on. I did have some, let's see here what else we had. We had a car also broken into on 6th Avenue in Meridian on Friday night. So criminals were really busy Friday night. Now, is that the only crime that happened? Absolutely not. There's probably plenty of cars that were broken into that I'm not even aware of that hadn't been sent to me. And as I bring this up over and over each week, if you see something, let me know so we can find out more and let others know this happened here, here, and here. We'll plot some of this stuff before long and put it on a map and show you where crimes happen there. But that did happen over the weekend there. I think they got the guy's wallet, and that's another thing. It's easy to do because you think of it as your car. You can leave what you want in there. Problem is, the criminals think when you leave it in there, well, I can have it. We also, overnight, last night, had reports of gunfire in the Meridian area. Now, no one was hurt. There was nothing damaged to my knowledge. But as we look at this, let me pull this up and show you a map where this went on. This was on Poplar Springs Drive. Shots were fired down through there, just driving down the road from what people are saying, out of a blue car. That's the scene way too often there of what goes on. And give you some relation, over here is where Hope Village for Children is. Just over here on Poplar Springs Drive is where that happened. Again, no one hurt. That doesn't change the fact that it still happened. People were doing things they shouldn't. Maybe one day we can take our city back and get rid of these criminals. We certainly hope so. Let's see here. We also, this is becoming an all too common thing in our area there. The parking garage, it's had graffiti, and I hope to get some video on this before long. Also, the scene Friday night, I believe, is when it was. No, that was Saturday night. They were on the top level of this, and I have to admit, I've only been to like the second level of it, but doing donuts on top of that at the top story there. They were not caught. They got away before the cops got there, but we watched that closely there. A few of those things that went on in Meridian over the weekend. I'm working on a couple of more stories that I have not got confirmation on, and I don't want to bring something up without 100% knowing that it did happen. So I'm working on a few more stories as we look at this. When we bring up Jackson, Mississippi, what does it mean? It means normally somebody's got shot. Odds are they might even got killed. Well, that was the scene over the weekend in Jackson, Mississippi, our capital city. 3 were shot and 1 died. That happened on Saturday night on North State Street, if you're familiar with Jackson, Mississippi. It's just getting rough in Jackson. It is like, well, I don't even have to go there. Y'all know what it is. It's bad over there. No other way to word it. Winona, which is to the northwest of Meridian. You would be going toward, like you're going up toward Memphis in those areas. In Winona, 2 were shot in a restaurant argument. They're okay, but they did get shot. Shame for anything like that to happen there. And in Tupelo, we also had a shooting in Tupelo over the weekend. Man, everybody thinks the way to settle it is to shoot at somebody that doesn't have a gun. Things, as we look at these stories of this, not everybody, and it's very legal in the state of Mississippi to carry a concealed weapon or just to carry a weapon to protect your rights. They're going to pick on the wrong people eventually, and that will come to an end, and that's called the equalizer, as we all know. Has anybody ever gone down to the Beau Rivage? You know what I'm talking about? That's real popular. Looks like they're going to be getting a makeover at the Beau Rivage, redoing it to where you'll have those same famous, as they put it, mattresses that you could sleep on in the MGM Grand if you're out in Las Vegas. I've never been to Vegas, but I'm sure it's nice. I know Beau Rivage is already nice, but they're trying to tempt more people to come to the coast and do a little gambling, as they'll start hopefully having part of that done by the end of the year. So be on the lookout for that, as things will be changing there south of us as we go into that. Let's see some other headlines that are happening this morning. Scams. Aren't we all sick of scams? And we've got this going on. If you hear about a scam in one part of the state of Mississippi, it kind of moves in sections. In the Mississippi Delta, it'll be over on the west side near Vicksburg and south, and then to our immediate area where a lot of our people watch from East Mississippi. But Rankin County over in Jackson, the jury scam is up and coming to where you didn't show up for jury duty and there has been an arrest warrant issued for you. And what they do is ask for your bank card so that you can pay the fine and not be arrested by deputies before they get there. Again, this is happening in Rankin County. I'm not saying it's happening anywhere east of there, but it very well could, no matter where you're watching me from, whether it's in the state of Mississippi or not. These things happen, and don't be fooled by them, because it sounds legit when you get the phone call. You could have missed one of these notices that you've got to show up for jury duty. It's easy. They mail that out and let you know that you're supposed to show up, but that's what the criminals are doing here lately. So keep it in mind. That's what's going on there to the west of us as we look at that in the Jackson area. Let's see here. Also, we haven't heard this mentioned in the state of Mississippi or Alabama, anywhere in the South here lately. Do y'all remember when we used to have that old disease called the West Nile virus? Yeah, well, we've got our first case in the state of Mississippi now. It has been recorded. Where is this at? Hinds County has the first case in the state of Mississippi. Supposedly it comes from mosquitoes. Kind of early for all that, but we have had some hot weather, haven't we? So Hinds County getting that first taste of this stuff as we move into the new year. Also, finally, we're at the 50-50 point there, and they've been pushing this strong. But why don't we have more? I'll tell you why. No one trusts the government before I even get the headlines out. So when I say you don't trust the government, you know exactly where I'm headed with this. Mississippi has finally reached the 50% mark of fully vaccinated for the state. But again, it's only 50%, and they have been hounding this for 2 years. 50%. It's without a doubt. A lot of Mississippians do not trust the government. And coming up at 8 o'clock, I invite you to join us as we'll dig deeper into this. What's going on in Canada with the truck drivers? It is a teetotal mess in Canada right now. Truck drivers cannot cross back and forth in between the United States and Canada without the shot. We'll talk about that. It's getting serious there as we look at the headline for that. When was the last time you were in Jackson, Mississippi? You ever heard of the term Woodrow Wilson Drive? Part of it's going to be renamed before long, so be ready for a new name coming to Jackson as they'll rename part of this. I was trying to see what the name of the new part will be. Oh, it'll be named after Walter Payton, so part of that will be Walter Payton Drive. Woodrow Wilson Drive, changing portions of it to Walter Payton. They're going to be voting on that. Pretty simple there. All right, as we look at a few things that are happening this morning, most Americans say they want Biden to consider all nominees for the Supreme Court pick. Now, this includes Democrats as well. Everybody should be chosen for this. He's narrowed it down. And this is just a what if. Let me throw this what if out there, because this was brought to my attention. What if, and again, I'm not saying this would happen. This is all just a scenario. What if Joe were to appoint Kamala to the Supreme Court and then pick Hillary to be his vice president and then step down? Makes you go, doesn't it? I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying that is one scenario that is out there. He has promised to pick a black Supreme Court judge, a lady at this point. And a lot of people are saying this is unconstitutional when it gets into this. It was legal if you say, well, I plan to choose a man or a woman. Is when you start picking, it's going to be a particular race, that it becomes unconstitutional to do that, from what I understand. I'm not an expert. I'm sure that there's lawyers out there that know a whole lot more than me that can tell me off the bat, am I telling the truth on that? That is just what I understand at this point. There's lots to be learned about the law and the Constitution that I don't know, wording, that loopholes that people can find. But that's what I'm told. Whether or not that's 100% to be true, I'm not sure. We're also going to talk about this after 8 o'clock this morning. Join us on this. As they pull every trick out of the hat in Washington to make Biden look a little bit better, they're trying real hard. Last week, they even went and got a cat. You heard me, a kitty cat. I'll have to look up the name. We'll talk about this after 8. But they thought it might bring some, positive to the White House. Guess what? It didn't work. People still realize that getting a cat does not mean that you can run the country. The United States is in a whirlwind. As I look at his reset button, it didn't work. His ratings are still tanking. Also, we'll talk about a new poll that I think might be wrong that they've put out of what ifs if people run up against Biden and who would win. That's all coming up this morning. More going on with the Trump back in the Canadian truck drivers. All of that's on the way there. And also, we'll talk about Joe Rogan this morning and all about the COVID. Is he backstepping? Joe Rogan, the Joe Rogan Experience, which is the largest morning show podcast in the United States. This thing is big. If you'll remember Neil Young, I'm going to take my music down. He seems to be stepping back, Joe does, and they're going to put warnings on his show of when he gives opinion of the COVID. So is he stepping back? We'll see. All that's coming up. We're going to look at weather next, so don't go anywhere. We'll tell you exactly what's going to happen in our area. That's all coming up next here, so be close. We'll be right back. The Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville is passing along these great savings. California Navel oranges, 4-pound bag, $3.99. Large tomatoes, $1.69 a pound. Idaho potatoes, a 8-pound bag, $3.99. Skippy peanut butter, a 16-ounce jar, $2.49. Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce, a 28-ounce jar, 2 for $5. And certified Angus beef ribeye steak family pack, $12.99 a pound.
We're down home, down the street, Piggly Wiggly.
And welcome back as Gail Gafford tells us that a heat wave has finally reached Porterville, Mississippi, up to 30 this morning there in Porterville. Y'all be careful in Porterville. Be watching what you're doing there. Woohoo! Passed through there Friday, as a matter of fact. Let's see here. Sandy White is joining us. Good morning to you. Also, Becky Fulton said that our Constitution just really doesn't matter anymore. It has been stepped on and trampled on, hasn't it? Worries me just as much as it does you. Morning from Arundel, chilly outside. Deer in the woods this morning. This is the final day of deer season for the state of Mississippi. Good morning to Rachel Grapper. Glad to see you there. Let's see here. But Denise said, quit scaring us about Kamala being in Hillary. Woo! All right, let's look at the weather. What's going to be happening today? This is our forecast and what we've got. Our record highs and record lows was set in 1957 with a record high of 82. Now, it's going to be warm today as we head to 68, but not quite 82. Our record low was set in 1966 as we got down to 13 degrees on this day. That was a chilly day, wasn't it? Well, we're taking January out with a warm day, that's for sure. As we look at the forecast across the state of Mississippi today, 68 Meridian, we'll get 66 in Philadelphia. And as you get toward Mississippi State, about 64, we'll hit about 65 degrees there in the Louisville area. Out west of us, from Vicksburg to Jackson, warmer weather, 69, down to Brookhaven, 67. And even Hattiesburg going to be warm, right at that 70-degree mark down south of us. As we look across the state line, as we go into Alabama, looks like 66 in Tuscaloosa as well as Demopolis. We'll get about 67 there at Livingston, Alabama. Y'all keep that in mind as you're over there today. But warmer weather there. As we, wildfire conditions has been taken out of the forecast for today. But here's our 6 to 10 day outlook for the temperature. Still cooler in Mississippi as we have that colder weather that is going to be approaching as soon as this winter storm passes just north of us through here and goes across. It's going to be cold once again. We'll look at your forecast in the 7-day outlook in a moment there to show you that. But be prepared, just north of us, it's going to be all types of winter and ice. Just rain for us, again, that I remind you. And I'll watch this in between Wednesday and Thursday to make sure that there's no changes in that. As we look at that 7-day forecast, here's what we've got for you as we look at that today. We have 68 tonight, not near as low. We're sitting at freezing right now at 32. Tonight, we'll get down to 42, so it'll be much milder when you wake up in the morning. Tuesday brings about almost ditto. 68 for a high tomorrow, down to 53. It's deer season officially over, and people are coming back home from the woods. We look at Wednesday, a 60% chance of showers there, 57, as the official will have it right after lunchtime on Wednesday is what we're looking for. But we'll also have 30-mile-an-hour gusts with this rain. By Wednesday night, we've got a 50% chance of showers, and with this, we'll have 90 to 100% chance of rain on Thursday. You're going to get wet Wednesday and Thursday. There's no doubt about it. We'll have gusts of about 25 miles an hour on Thursday as well. So it's going to be, whew. And now, as we see the rain moves out and that storm passes by, temperatures will change once again for Friday. We're looking at a high of 45. So you'll go from your Hawaiian flowery shirt down to your Carhartt jacket on Friday. Welcome to Mississippi. A low of 25 on Friday night. Saturday we'll get to 50, but again back into the 20s on Saturday night. Brr. As we look ahead, we do have temperatures all the way through Valentine's Day. That's right around the corner, isn't it? 56 on the 7th, and as we look at this, we're going to top out after the storm passes there. Highs in the mid-50s, nighttime lows anywhere from 35 to 40 there for a week or so. Again, it's always subject to change. This is Mother Nature over the next few weeks as we watch this, and things normally change. They don't normally stay the same, as we know how they change and go back and forth. Now, as we look at what we've got offered here, again, I said today is the last day of deer season. This is it. This is over for the state of Mississippi. There are other areas that will get it to the 10th or 11th in those zonings. But for the most part, deer season ends today. Today, this is it. And as we look at it, the outlook, they didn't even give it a good average or anything. Your best time today is to hunt between, it's only an hour that they're saying is better, and it's a minor time. It's going to be between 8:20 and 9:20 this morning. And your major time was right after midnight. Deer were moving during the middle of the night, some kind of big. What is the wind going to do today? It'll be calm and moving southwest to around 5 miles an hour in these early morning hours here as we get the day started. So that's a forecast on your end of the year hunting there. I wish you luck on that. Let's see here. Good morning to Pat and Jim Coker. Glad y'all are with us. April Roberts, how are you? Let's see. Also, we've got Jeremy Barnacastle joining us. How are you? Denise Covington is up as well. This is going to be a pretty good day as we get 68 and sunshine. It will feel like summer. It'll make you want to get outside and do things. You can do that today and tomorrow, and all this will come to an end as we start getting that rain on Wednesday and Thursday, and then by Friday we're back to shivering once again. So make sure that you got your firewood dried out because you'll need it for the end of the week. Again, as I said, we've got the morning show coming. That's going to be kicking off right at the top of the hour at 8 o'clock. Join us. Candace coming in. She's had a long weekend. She's refreshed. Got some great stories that she's going to be telling us, I'm sure. All that, and of course, we've got a great show lined out for you to find out what's gone over the weekend, what's went on in America, what's happened locally. We'll dig deeper into this. And as always, we do want your comments and what happens. If you see something, let us know. Bobby May, good morning from Philadelphia. Glad to have you joining us as well. Joyce Parker Poole joining us from Tennessee this morning. I hope everything there is looking great for you there. Tennessee is a beautiful state. Never visited, go check that out. It's beautiful. Really like it there. Again, thank y'all so much. Right now, it's cold. 32 as you begin your day as we head for a high of 68. More on the way at the top of the hour at 8 a.m. as we'll continue more coverage and, well, headlines for you, keeping you up to date with the very latest in our area. We'll see you back soon here at Scotty Ray Report. Thanks for joining us this morning. We'll see you soon.
Scotty Ray's Weather is brought to you by